Hi, Andrew Johns here. It's the 25th of July and I'm excited to talk to you briefly about the additional property transfer tax for foreign nationals who are buying property in the GVRD. This was announced today by Christy Clark and the Liberal government out of Victoria. I think it's a big step forward. We'll talk about my opinion in a moment, but let's get to what the details of this tax are. Number one, the tax is related specifically to individuals who are considered foreign nationals. And the areas that we're talking about are the GVRD. We've highlighted here some of the more populated areas, including Richmond, Surrey, Vancouver, Langley, West Vancouver, and Burnaby. This tax is going to apply on the 2nd of August, so just in 1 week's time. So the government's really they're not holding back by moving forward with this tax very quickly. And it was, of course, a unique day today because normally the Legislative Assembly in Victoria is out of session, but they called a special session for this. Now, as far as foreign entities are concerned, they break them down into two categories: trusts and corporations, and all the details and loopholes that corporations could possibly come up with to address them. But the more important one is those individuals who are coming in from overseas. They do not have a Canadian citizenship, they do not have a permanent residency, and they're basically here to purchase residential property. They're the one that's going to be paying this tax. Okay? As we scroll down this news release from the provincial government, we can see what is the tax. Everybody's pretty familiar with this now. 15% of the market value. So if you are a foreign national from the Middle East or from mainland China and you're buying a property, you're now, so let's say you're going to buy a $2 million property, you're now paying $300,000 more than you were yesterday in buying that property. So this is a very big number for the provincial government. They have stated that all of the revenue coming from it, less the cost to, of course, collect these tax dollars, is going to be applied to a separate fund used specifically for addressing affordable housing in the city of Vancouver. Okay? This tax also does not apply to anything other than residential property. So if you're a foreign national buying commercial property, residential, retail property, this tax does not apply. Now, there's also lots of other information in this release that's mostly back-end red tape paper documents. But the part I found really interesting near the end of this press release was the details around tax avoidance. Specifically, tax avoidance. They have tax avoidance provisions that exist and will be enforced, and they can be enforced through an audit process that will last up to 6 years. They've got up to 6 years to be able to go into look at any transaction to decide if they want to audit it and ultimately apply what they call their anti-tax avoidance rules. If you're Canadian, pardon me, if you're a Canadian citizen and you have a social insurance number, when you're buying a property in the GVRD, you'll be asked now for your social insurance number as well as ID to ensure that you are not a foreign national. So I'd say on the whole, a great move forward by the provincial government. There's a few things that are missing. One, what about all the people who've just bought property, whether it's a month ago or a year ago, and have benefited from this run-up in the real estate prices? And of course, it's on the purchase of these homes, not on the sale. So anybody who bought previously, whether they hold the property for a year or 5 years or 20 years, when they sell it, they will not be paying this tax. It also doesn't address people who have somehow managed to get themselves a permanent residency in Canada, but aren't contributing to the local economy by living here or paying taxes. And then finally, what it also doesn't do is it doesn't provide a long-term cash flow of tax feed to the provincial government. But I'd say on the whole, a pretty good move. As far as the Vancouver vacancy tax is concerned, we'll have more details on that when the news comes out. Right now, we don't have any details, but as soon as we get them, we'll deliver it back to you. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed it.